Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome back to Crack Grade B. So we are going to talk about insolvency and bankruptcy related MCQs today. We are going to talk about the basic portions over here, and then tomorrow we'll be talking about the corporate insolvency related MCQs as well. So let us start. See, what is the applicability of IBC? मतलब कि किस तरीके की एंटिटीज में इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड जो है वो एप्लीकेबल होगा, किस पे एप्लीकेबल होगा? See, so companies which are incorporated under the Companies Act or under any kind of previous company law, limited liability partnership, right? Partnership firms as well as the individuals. In the options you have been given cooperatives as well as the trust. आपको वो cooperatives और trust भी दिए हुए हैं, but that is not something we are going to cater to under IBC. Now, what is the impact of IBC on other legislations? So IBC has got overriding impact on other legislations. With the introduction of IBC, the other legislations subsided, right? Some of the acts that got repelled on enforcement of IBC are the Presidency Town Insolvency Act 1909, the Presidency Insolvency Act 1920, Sikh Industrial Companies Act 1985. Because as we are bringing new things, we have to, what you can say, let go of the old things so that we can establish new kind of provisions and rules. Now next we have who can initiate the corporate insolvency resolution process. So your financial creditor, operational creditor, corporate debtor, they can initiate it. Now hear me out very carefully. We are a coaching institute, right? And the operational part of our activity is imparting education, right? So any kind of expense related to that, any kind of credit that we have taken in this regard will be counted under the operational things. Whereas suppose we have borrowed a bank loan, suppose we have issued debentures, right? So these are going to be constituted under my financial liabilities because this is purely in relation to sourcing of finance, right? So when can a corporate insolvency resolution process can be initiated? If the company has borrowed more than 1 crore and has failed to repay it. This was what you can say, this limit was raised during the time of your COVID. उससे पहले 1 लाख रुपए था, but इसको फिर बढ़ा दिया गया. Now what constitutes default under IBC? Default क्या होगा IBC में? That we know. See, if you have taken a debt and then you have what you can say, you were not able to repay it, any installment has become due and you were not able to repay it, so all of that is going to come over here. सारा का सारा जो है वो यहाँ पर आएगा. Now what is debt under IBC? Debt का मतलब क्या होगा? A liability or obligation which is due from any financial creditor or any operational creditor. Now who's a financial creditor? So financial creditor का मैंने अभी आपको मतलब समझाया. आपने बैंक लोन लिया हुआ है, that is going to be a financial creditor, right? अगर आपने debentures issue किए हैं तो वो आपके financial creditors हैं. So wherever you have taken credit, not because you have sold goods or services to them, no. Just because you were sourcing the finance and now you are paying them interest, so that is going to come under the list of financial creditors, right? Which of the following is not a financial debt? See, any amount raised by acceptance under any acceptance credit facility or its materialized equivalent, receivables sold or discounted other than any receivables sold on non-recourse basis, contract to pay rent for the use of plant, property or equipment, and any amount raised pursuant to any note purchase facility or issue of bond. आपको इसमें से financial activity को पहचानना है, और sorry, you have to identify the operational activity because the remaining 3 are financial activity. Now let us see that. See, credit facility, invoice discounting, right? Issue of bonds, notes, debentures, loan stocks. What this all is going to be? So ये क्या है आपका सारा? ये सारे आपके financial activities हैं. So what is my operational activity? That is going to be contract to pay rent for the use of plant, property or equipment. Now, who's the operational creditor? So a creditor whose liability subsists up to 6 months, a person to whom operational debt is owed and includes any person to such debt has been legally assigned, any creditor listed in the balance sheet as corporate debtor, a person that has advanced loan to the another party. अभी लोन वाला तो फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर में आ जाएगा, राइट? 6 months ऐसा टाइमिंग का कोई कैटेगरी नहीं है. So any person to whom operational debt is owed and that particular person will be called as the operational creditor. ठीक है? Which of the following is not an operational creditor? Deferred income tax, payment to be made to the supplier, retirement benefits under the pension plan, any amount raised under any other transaction including any forward sale purchase agreement having the commercial effect of a borrowing. See, this particular line takes us to the operational debt, right? So ये तो आपका क्या हो जाएगा? Financial debt. This is not a operational debt. आपका टैक्स है, सप्लायर्स को देना है, एम्प्लॉयज को देना है, all comes under your operations, right? These are all a part of your functioning. So that is why they are going to be operational debt. Now next we have whether an operational creditor can assign or legally transfer operational debt to a financial creditor. So yes, however, transferee, that is the financial creditor, shall be considered as an operational debtor to the such extent. आप ट्रांसफर तो कर सकते हैं, but you cannot change the nature of debt. आप उसको चेंज नहीं कर सकते. A debt can be transferred from operational creditor to the financial creditor, but the nature of debt is going to be remaining as the operational debt itself. Now, does a financial creditor include a secured creditor? So yes, a financial creditor includes both secured as well as the unsecured. For example, a bank loan could be a secured as well as unsecured one. Debentures could be a secured as well as the unsecured one, right? Now, which of the following statement related to operational creditor is true? कौन सा statement सही है? So all secured creditors are not operational creditors, but all operational creditors are unsecured creditors. Yes. सारे के सारे जो आपके operational creditors हैं वो unsecured होते हैं because you do not offer any kind of security. For example, I have to source raw material from my supplier. मुझे अपने supplier से raw material लेना है. I'm not going to offer him any kind of security. I'll just say that I'll pay you after 40 days. मैं सिर्फ यही कहूंगी कि मैं आपको 40 दिन बाद पे करूंगी, right? I'll not say anything else. So all unsecured creditors are not operational creditor because unsecured में आपके financial creditor भी हो सकते हैं and operational creditors भी हो सकते हैं, right? दोनों तरीके के creditors हो सकते हैं, but in relation to your operational creditors, आपके सारे के सारे operational creditors क्या होते हैं? Unsecured होते हैं. Now, which of the following statement relating to workmen or employees is true? See, workmen employees whose past payments are due, they come under the operational creditor. इसके बारे में अभी हमने discuss भी किया था, right? So if you have to pay the pension benefits to your employees, अगर आपको pension benefits pay करना है अपने employees को, तो वो आपके operational creditor में आएंगे, right? That is your operating activity. That is part and parcel of your activity. वो आपकी activity का part and parcel है. Now, who is corporate debtor under IBC? So, a corporate person who owes a debt to any particular person, that is going to be a corporate debtor. See, जिसने उधार लिया, the person who has taken the credit is corporate debtor, and the person who has given the credit will be called as creditor. Now it depends that person is operating creditor or financial creditor, वो depend करता है. Now, who are considered as corporate persons under the provisions of IBC? So, companies as well as the LLP. इसके अलावा partnership firms भी होती हैं, इसके अलावा individuals भी होते हैं, but that is not corporates. ठीक है? Corporates आपकी कौन सी होंगी? Companies ही होंगी और LLP ही होंगी. LLP, they have the features of companies, so that is why we are considering them over here. Now, who's a financial service provider in IBC? So a person who's engaged in providing financial services in terms of authorization issued or registration granted by the financial sector regulator, right? So your option number C is going to be correct over here. We all understand banks, NBFC, they all are going to be counted under your financial service providers, right? And RBI is going to be the regulator over here. कौन होगा RBI? कौन होगा regulator? RBI. Now, which of the following is not a financial service? See, deposit acceptance, investment scheme, contract of insurance, they all are investment related proceeds or financial proceeds because they do not have any relationship with your core business activity. If we are a coaching institute and we tend to impart education, that is our core activity. Now, paying salary to the teachers is an operating activity, right? But out of the money that they have earned of this coaching institute, if they invest it somewhere, अगर वो पैसा कहीं invest करते हैं तो वो पैसा हमारे लिए कैसा होगा? फाइनेंशियल एक्टिविटी और इन्वेस्टमेंट एक्टिविटी, उसको हम फाइनेंशियल या इन्वेस्टमेंट एक्टिविटी कहेंगे. Now, which of the following statement related to financial service provider is correct? So, financial service provider cannot initiate CIRP, can initiate CIRP, cannot initiate, but CIRP can be initiated against it, and the financial service provider can initiate CIRP, but CIRP cannot be initiated against it. See, so financial service provider cannot initiate CIRP, nor can any CIRP can be initiated against it. Now, whether the IBC is applicable to a person resident outside India? Yes, IBC is applicable to a person who is resident outside India. Whose regulator under IBC? So, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India has been created as a regulator. Which among the following is not entitled to initiate CIRP? So, corporate debtor in respect of whom a liquidation order has been made. So, already a liquidation order has been made. You are not entitled to initiate the corporate insolvency resolution proceedings. Now, which statement regarding information utility is correct? So, information utility, they shall collect, collate and disseminate financial information to facilitate the insolvency resolution. So, they act as a, what you can say, source of information. ठीक है? सारी information, financials related information, their whether they have filed the documents, so that filing related information, their debt related information, and all sorts of claims related information is tackled by the information utility. Now, from whom does information utility get information of assets in which security interest is created? So, financial creditor as well as operational creditor. I told you, information utility has got links with each and every party that is involved in the corporate insolvency resolution proceedings. Financial creditors से भी बात करेंगे, operational creditors से भी बात करेंगे, and then they will try to know कि ठीक है, what are the assets onto which charge has been created. जैसे कि डिबेंचर होल्डर्स ने कहा है that machinery is going to be taken by us. हम ले लेंगे उसको because in our contract it has been written that issue of such debentures is secured by machinery. So that is the thing. Now, what is the initiation date in CIRP? So, the date on which a financial creditor, corporate applicant or operational creditor makes an application, the date of admission of application by financial creditor, the date on which financial creditor, corporate applicant realizes insolvent status, and date on which corporate debtor is unable to pay. So, किस दिन होगी initiation date, किस दिन starting date मानी जाएगी? So, the date on which financial creditor, corporate applicant or operational creditor makes an application to adjudicating authority. ठीक है, जिस दिन IBBI को एप्लीकेशन दिया that we want to start the CIRP, that is going to be the initiation date. उसी को हम initiation date मानेंगे. Now, what is insolvency commencement date? So date of admission of an application by a financial creditor, corporate applicant or operational creditor for initiating CIRP by the adjudicating authority. So जिस दिन आपकी application को accept कर लिया गया, that is going to be the insolvency commencement date. If adjudicating authority has accepted the your application, then that is going to be the date for you. Now what is the resolution plan? See, this is a plan how we are trying to come out of this particular problem. Okay, so it is a plan proposed by a insolvency professional for resolution of corporate debtor as a going concern. ठीक है, तो हम आगे क्या करने वाले हैं? कैन वी टर्न अराउंड दिस पर्टिकुलर कंपनी? कैन वी डू समथिंग सो दैट दिस कंपनी कैन किक स्टार्ट? ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हैं हम. Whether we want to liquidate this at the as the end goal, हम इसको liquidate ही करना चाहते हैं because we cannot do anything about it, right? So these are called as the resolution plan. इसके बारे में हम कल भी discuss करेंगे. So who approves the resolution plan? Committee of creditors approve करती है. Which of the following does not form the content? So provisions that are in contravention of the law. ठीक है, आपका insolvency and bankruptcy code है. If there are few things that does not what you can say matches with the provisions that has been written under the IBC, then that is going to be cancelled out. Now who constitutes the committee of creditors? interim resolution professional. इनके बारे में कल और पढ़ेंगे. Who shall receive the notice of now interim resolution professional, right? Like for example, you can understand these finance professional, ठीक है, जैसे CA CMA हो गए, right? Apart from that, advocates, they have been given the position of this resolution professional, acting as a resolution professional. There are courses onto it, right? These courses you have to do in order to get a license to act as an interim resolution professional. Now who shall receive the notice of meeting of the committee of creditors? So obviously members of suspended board of directors, operational creditors as well. So they will have to receive the notice. Now time limit within which the first meeting needs to be held. So this is within 7 days of constitution of committee. जैसे ही committee of creditors बनी, 7 दिन के अंदर जो है आपको जो है first meeting रखवानी पड़ेगी. So this is all the basic questions related to your IBBI or insolvency related proceedings. Tomorrow we are going to talk about fewer advanced level questions. This is it for today. Thank you so much for joining in, and if you did understood the lecture, please do not forget to like this video.